Okie dokie. And yeah, like I always do, seems like a theme of me at this point in my career here. By the time you're watching this, it will be a week and a half now. Recording this a week after. So, here is my review. Excuse me. This is my review of SummerSlam 2023. I'm Slopo AA, and this is your review. I did my SummerSlam prediction in the short version. By the time I did that, I had to do it that way because it was the only thing I could have done that day without being super late. Unlike this video, which is super late. So yeah, so this is my review of thoughts for SummerSlam 2023, and this show, I think, out of like all 2023 shows that WWE has put on pay-per-view this year, I think you can safely say like this was pretty much the weakest out of all the shows that I've done this year. Like, it was pretty much below of how they usually deliver with these shows. But this was still a decent show. There were a lot of good stuff there. Some great spot. Even one great stuff. Fortunately, there was a bit of a low point. And that may have been, oh boy, I can't wait to talk about all that. Yeah, about that. But, yeah, let's get on to this because, yeah. Starting off this show, which everyone kind of predicted because Logan Paul had a private jet to travel to fly because he had his brother fight on that same day. So the opening match is Logan Paul going up against Ricochet. This was Ricochet's first big singles match on Premier Live Event Pay-Per-View, whatever you want to call, in a long ass while. It's been a long ass while since Ricochet had a big time match in one of those big key events like Summerslam. And yeah, and I thought it was solid all around. I mean, it wasn't too crazy like I expected to be, but this was still really good for what it was. Yeah. I am not gonna even pretend to be amazed of how can Logan Paul be good, be really fucking good at this point, because let's be honest. After all the matches, he has been in this company for like a year and a half now. He's performing big matches against Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. He competed in Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. After watching all these matches, then it just tend to pretty much admit he just is that damn good in the ring. I may not like him outside of the ring, but inside of the ring, he's fucking great. And there's no need to hammer that point because after watching all of his performances for the last year and a half, he has proven his case in this company. So yeah. As for Ricochet, I'm happy he got this spot here because it's for so long he has been really underutilized on the main roster. I remember him being lost to Raw Lesnar really quick in that one Saudi match in like 2020, I believe. And he wasn't being used for the longest of fucking time. And now seeing here this year, and even with the match, there was a really good spots in there. Like Rick, the way Ricochet hold crashed Logan Paul and did like a flipping, like a driver or something like that. That was great, and him doing a fucking great standing like a standing motion for like the I think was the middle row. That was great. And yeah, and the finish came where I don't know who exactly was. I kind of missed who it was, but it's apparently Michael Cole said it was one of the Logan Paul guys that apparently he saw in Minnesota. I don't know how the hell he saw that dude. He noticed that dude, but apparently he did. And Logan Paul grabbed those brandos and whacks Ricochet with it to cover 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul wins. And Michael Cole had a great line saying that was a good matchup, but the finish sucked. It was something else. And yeah, it kind of was. But I liked the finish in that they made sure that they went to great lengths to protect Ricochet. And like coming into this match, it felt more of a showcase for Logan Paul than it's about Ricochet because they thought like because coming in, all we thought it was gonna be like, oh, we will put Ricochet in there because he's a really good opponent for Logan Paul and we just put him the way with him and not try to embarrass anyone in a way. The fact that and after the match, Ricochet will be forgotten about and not been talked about that much, like and being shut to the burger as it usually does. The fact that they went to really in kind of good lengths to protect Ricochet tells me that he's gonna be featured a bit more and he's gonna be utilized a little more correctly to his ability and it could lead to a rematch. Who knows? Like it could be a Logan Paul Ricochet rematch. Maybe one of those Saudi shows later this year. Who knows? But yeah, this was a solid match. And yeah, this was all around really good. Next up is Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes. Wow. Coming in, I did not have the most high hopes for this. This whole feud is basically to keep Cody out of the title picture and do this feud without any contest whatsoever behind it. They went months and months without having Brock explain a damn thing why he attacked Cody on the wall after WrestleMania. And yeah, it was real. In this video was really all that rather rinse repeat with Brock attacking Cody down. Well, after Cody calls out Brock, and then Brock attacks him and beats him down. For almost a good chunk of this feud. Let's be completely real. And yeah, like I really did not think this feud utilized both men to their best of their abilities and I wish I could have had positive things to say about this whole feud, but this was a feud that had really not much context behind it. It had no reason to even do it. But I will have some positive things to say about this match because hot damn did I love that match. Like, wow, like it had this for the first half of this, like it was all Brock attacking Cody. Almost pretty much of the John Cena squash from SummerSlam in 2014 where Brock just beating down with German suplexes and stuff and telling Cody to just stay down. Just stay down. And also the steel stairs spot and not being dickhead was kinda like what the fuck. Like couldn't this man have stipulations like I don't know, last man standing? And I think it could have worked there and will upgrade this match even more, like because of the story they were trying to tell with Brock viciously beating down Cody and telling Cody to stay down. But Cody won't give up, he won't stay down and just continue to bring even more punishment by Brock. And every time he got up, the crowd more and more and more crescendo to excitement, and all it worked to a pretty great match. Easily the best match these guys have ever had. And this, I gotta say this was my match of the night because out of all the matches coming in, this was the one that not only excelled but exceeded any expectations I think people may have for this, because the first two matches were kind of like nah, they were just okay. So like they were subpar matches at best. So yeah, so this really exceeded any expectation people had coming in, and this was just a great matchup between both guys. And then at the end, Brock shorts got ripped. I don't know how the hell it got ripped, but somehow it did. And thank God he had trunks underneath, because it could have ended in a disaster. Funny how Cody was one of Cody's moves. It's called the disaster kick. It could have ended much more disastrously about Brock, but Cody hits not one, not two, but three crossroads to win the match. And afterwards, Brock Lesnar got out of the ring, I think. But then he stood up. He went to the ring. Cody was similarly had no idea. Apparently, it wasn't technically planned. Apparently. So Cody looks up, like he doesn't know what was about to happen. Then Brock Lesnar stares to Cody. He bounces on his ankle, he shakes it, they hug each other, and Brock endorses Cody. Something he's pretty much never ever done to any wrestler in his entire career until maybe Kurt Angle, but with Kurt Angle he embraced Brock. This was Brock embracing Cody. And it really kind of tells you a lot. Because even if this is planned or not, you don't waste something like this endorsement for a guy who does not do with anybody, but does it with Cody. It tells you that not only has Brock really have a respect for Cody, for not only inside but outside the ring, but also what tells you that Cody is still a guy. Like, Cody is still the next guy. Like, I don't know how the hell to pour that there, but he has managed to still take that much crowd support, even after his loss at WrestleMania. Like, yeah, like, I still think like he's going in for the top championship. And I don't mean the world title on Raw, because it really is a second place belt for him, for to everyone. It's a second place belt. It's pretty much on its way to that top championship, the championship that he's been telling about ever since he came back at WrestleMania last year. So yeah, this was an awesome match. They thought a really great story of Cody not backing down and still wanting more fight, and got the crowd support behind him, and the match SC as well. So yeah, that was my match of the night. Next one is the Slim Jim Battle Royal. Wow, and this was another one which I didn't think much of coming in, but this was somehow a pretty decent battle royal. I'm never into battle royal because there are some because some of those battle royals can kind of be a hit or miss. This one was somewhat of a hit. It really did, and I think it's a classic case of sometimes you really have to give the people what they want. And what they wanted to see is LA Knight, yeah, win here. And that's exactly what he did. And the match itself has some really decent story advancements. Although Austin Theory being the US champion 4 months after beating John Cena at WrestleMania is in this battle royal, and he is just another guy, another body to be thrown at to advance a story. And thank God the US title is now off for this guy. By the time you're watching it, the belt is already off, and thank fucking Christ, because what a fucking waste of a run this guy had. They tried to give everything the world to this guy, and just didn't fucking work. Oh, that's all I got to say. But they had some really good spots, and then in the end, it was LA Knight and Sheamus. The final two, they had some really good back and forth, and LA Knight rolls through and eliminates Sheamus and wins the same year Battle Royal. So LA Knight won a match on one of the big four pay-per-views that is Summerslam. And I said as much, and I mentioned that in my Money in the Bank review, that although he didn't win the Money in the Bank, him being in that match was a way to think where we were with him a year ago. He was massive supreme. He was not being received in such a high value as he is now. And there were reports of them saying they were going to ask him. They were to ask him out because they thought he was older. They thought he could get a more. They weren't going to get a lot of mileage out of him. But here we are a year later, and to think where he is now, it's really remarkable to see he went from Massive Supreme to now LA Knight. It's remarkable, and him being in that match and him right here is a win all around because he has proven to be a mainstay on the main roster now. And that's not an insult, that's just a fact of life. Yeah. So I really enjoy it for what it was. And LA Knight was the right winner. Yeah. So really strong show. Alright. Then came Ronda Rousey vs Shayna Baszler in MMA rules. Oh my god. Where do I start? The sad thing is, it was one of the matches I was kind of looking for. And they had a really nice story. I remember the video practice coming into this memory. Shane, especially Shayna's case, like he told, like she cut a terrific promo on the Monday before this. She said like she talked about Ronda's daughter, and she was one of the first ones to hold it, and she was going to, and she's going to make her daughter not forgive Shayna for dumping out of Ronda the business. And with this being MMA rules, I thought we could get something cool out of this. Like, they were gonna go all out a little bit with this. But none of this will work in the fucking slightest. This was bad. Like I see they were trying to do, but this did not fucking work. And so they cut Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus for that. Yeah. They cut Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, two of one of the biggest female stars in the entire company. You cut out for this crap? Like, holy fucking shit. And the match lasted like 7 minutes, which this match kind of perfectly encapsulates what Ronda Rousey's second run has all been about. Really. Like, and I said as much in my Money in the Bank review also, like, to see how Ronda is to be one of the legit big attractions in WWE from the first run, to now seeing her in this day like this, just depressing how much her career has fallen. And yeah, like, this is the last match she ever has in this company, because apparently the rumors that she's gone now, and if that is the case, then good riddance, because yeah, this did not fucking end. It sucked. Like, what more I could say? It sucked. Shayna Baszler wins. Thank the fuck Christ this was over. Next. And this kinda killed the crowd. Like, they were hot for like the first 3 matches, but this one just. And apparently I saw footage of people leaving the fourth field in Detroit. They were going to the bathroom even before this match even started, Rich. What does that tell you? Like, they will try to do something different, but with MMA, but in a wrestling ring, no, this just did not work like that. But moving after that, we got an Intercontinental Championship. Gunther defending against Drew McIntyre. So Drew came back at Money in the Bank after a absence after WrestleMania. It comes after Gunther and the Intercontinental title. And it wasn't as impactful, I think, as the Gunther Sheamus match at Castle or even the triple threat match at WrestleMania this year. But this was still really good for what it was. Like, they worked really hard to try to get a crowd after being so lifeless after that Ronda Shayna match. I wish this match could have got a little more time. Like, they were starting to really pick it up, and by the time it was over just like that. I think it went like 11 minutes. Like, yeah, I wish they could have got a little more time with it. But this was still a good match. This was a good wrestling match. And Gunther pulled through and beat Drew McIntyre to retain the title. And it looks like the more he spends more time with the IC title, he's gonna break Honky Tonk Man's record for the longest Intercontinental Championship reign of all time. And I think that's great because the MA is fucking doing a terrific job with the Intercontinental Championship. Like, it's gotta be one of the greatest IC champs of all time at this point. The level of matches he's at and the booking he has been booked, the way he's been booked. How could you not book him? If not the greatest, at least one of the greatest IC champions of all time. Like, the man's doing A plus job with that belt. He's made it mean so like it's one of the belts in this company. I always fucking commend Gunther for it. As far as Drew McIntyre, I think he's a very lost cause in that there's so many baby faces on Raw and there are many top baby faces that Drew is kind of full on the people like, let's say, Cody, Seth, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. He's pretty much like below those names as like top Raw face. And I think a heel turn at this point could really benefit him to really freshen up some things with his character. So I hope that's the direction they go with him. But yeah, this was a good match for the Intercontinental title. Now to the World Heavyweight Championship. It's Seth Rollins defending against Finn Balor. This is the rematch from the 7 years ago Summerslam 2016 with Demon Finn Balor at the time against Seth Rollins for then the inaugural Universal Championship. Now this is for the world title. They really hammered that point with those 7 years story with Finn painting the 7-year across the torso, I think, and then Seth Rollins coming out with the exact same vest that he wore in that 2016 SummerSlam match against Finn Balor. And this was a really good match. This was like at least second best match of the night. Like, they really went all out with it. And this was a much better match than they had on event. And you had some callbacks from the previous match, that the SummerSlam 2016 match with Finn Balor doing the buckle bomb spot over the barricade through Seth Rollins. That was brutal. And Finn Balor was really going to town Seth Rollins. Really wanted that retribution for all those 7 years he of pain that he put through. And and they got the crowd really worked. By that time, that crowd really amped it up, and they done a really good job. Made you fully believe that Finn Balor was actually going to win this and was going to win that world title. And they really had to admit, because you got Judgment Day getting involved, which we all knew is bad. Especially Damian Priest, because he has the money in the bank that he could cash into any championship, including the world title. And you have him coming out. Finn Balor hit a coup de grace. We thought he was gonna win, but I guess not so. And then the finish came with Damian Priest distracting the referee. Like, he put the money in the bank underneath the ring. Finn Balor went to the went slide to the ring. He went to exactly where the briquet was positioned. Then wrestler pulls through. That was when the light come on for some reason now. But anyway, Seth Rollins hits the current stop on Finn Balor onto the briefcase, and Seth Rollins covers 1, 2, 3 to retain the world title. As you can see, Damian Priest's face, like, that was sure a meme created in that moment. That sad, disappointed, like, but that was a great meme, I guess. But this was a really good match, a lot better than the Money in the Bank match, the Money in the Bank singles match they had, excuse me, for the world title. Like, they really, like, they had some nice spots and nice action into this. So yeah, I really wonder what they can do with the Judgment Day, because Finn now lost to Seth twice now. You have to think there still have to be more dissension for him and Damian Priest, since Damian has the Money Back breakers on it. So yeah, so I really wonder where they can go with them. So yeah, so that's the match for the World Heavyweight Championship. The next is for the WWE Women's Championship, a triple threat between Asuka defending against Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. And oh boy, this is where the crowd's momentum kind of died down a bit again. And the match was decent, I guess. But like, here about this match, like, you can tell there were a lot of clunky spots on it. The most embarrassing, like, and you can see, like, Charlotte, like, it looked like Charlotte's, like, top, the ring top that she had, like the back of it was slipped down, and, like, good Charlotte, like, and Asuka, Bianca were, like, on one side of the ring, and Charlotte is, like, telling the referee to slip her top off. Like, the good thing, the ref was being as generous as she could be, because yeah, this could have been a disaster. And the first, the first half of the match was, like, not good. Like I said, it was kind of sloppy at times. Then when they got through the second half, that's when it picked up nicely, I think. And once they were doing the Bianca Belair injury angle, I think that's where the crowd really had it, because I'm convinced, like, she did a hell of a job selling that knee injury. And the crowd really had it with her, because they thought, like, something bad happened to her, but she pulls through. It hits that nice 450 on Charlotte. The Bianca Belair and Charlotte were at it. Then Charlotte targeted that injured knee, and then she went for the figure 8. Asuka spit the mist, and Asuka was going to kick Bianca, but Bianca's pin is, I think, a small package, I think. and Bianca wins the Women's Championship. And once they did the injury, I kinda should have expected what was about to happen. Because then comes Mrs. Money in the Bank, Io Sky. She came out with Bailey. They attacked Charlotte. They attacked Asuka. Bianca attacked Bailey, but then Io hits her with the briefcase. And then she catches her in. She hits the moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Io Sky is the new WWE Women's Champion. Damage Control all came in. Dakota Kai showed up for this, and yeah, this was a really nice moment. And what I really like about Io catching up Bianca, and this is what most people don't point out, and I'm sure many people didn't, because what was the match for Io on the main roster? What was the one match that propelled her to this level of rise of success that made people wanted to see her win the Money in the Bank and become champion? What was the one match before it that really kind of cemented all that? It was her against Bianca Belair at Backlash in Puerto Rico, and that crowd being solely behind Io. Now we come back 3 months later, and guess who Io cashed in and won the women's title from? Bianca Belair. And yeah, that's what I really liked about the most about it. And like I said, the triple threat, it was kind of all over the place, but by the end it was good. And Io Sky winning the Women's Championship was a really nice, really great moment. She totally deserves it as the Women's Champion. So, yeah, in the end, it all worked. And then you get the Tribal Combat for the Undisputed Universal Championship. Roman Reigns defending against main event Jey Uso. This is Roman Reigns' first championship defense since WrestleMania. It's 4 fucking months this motherfucker has held the title and has held without defending the title. Like, holy shit, man. Like, you guys all bitch and complain about Lesnar, but where's the same fucking criticism to fucking Roman Reigns? Like, Jesus Christ. And, you know, for the amount of hype this got, and for this story, like, this was kind of basically the culmination of the story they've been telling with Roman and Jay specifically for the last 3 years in this bloodline story. Like, this was the building they've been, the whole match they've been building for pretty much 3 years now, almost 3 years. With the amount of hype this had, you would think this would deliver some case, right? Right? The match starts, and it was so fucking slow. Like, holy fuck. And mind you, this match, when this match happened, it was almost fucking midnight, and it passed the longer this match went. And good lord, like, with Roman Reigns, and if people watch this, they might give me some shit for saying this, but the way Roman Reigns constructs a lot of his matches, like the big matches he's had over the course that he's been the tribal sheet, the way he paced those matches, it reminds me a lot of someone like Kazuchika Okada or Kenny Omega examples. I use those as examples where in their big matches, in 3-4 minutes in, you know when the match is long and when it's not. Like when they start off slow in matches, that's when you know they will get at least 30, 40 minutes in between them. Like those guys had their style matches like this. And they usually pick up in the big most way. And in Roman's matches, at least for the most part, they have started slow and then they slowly build it up towards it. And it picks up really fucking big in the end. And this match, the match starts so slow and it just fucking stayed there. It went on and on and on and fucking on. Then I'm like, and I enjoy most of Reigns' title reign since he's been the champion in 2020, since he turned heel, became Tribal Chief. I enjoy most of it, but this was the first match out of this whole fucking reign that I'm sitting there and I'm just thinking like, I'm just over for this fucking shit to be over and done with. That's how I felt watching it. And I think the biggest problem with it, apart from being slow, and it went unnecessarily long to the point where it was pretty much kind of a boring match. It really kind of was when you think about it. But the biggest problem to me, it never really felt like there was any real danger of Roman Reigns losing the championship in this match. You never felt once that Jey Uso even had the slightest chance of walking out here as the champion and being the tribal chief and all that. And that's what really hurt this. Like, compared to Roman's other matches this year, where even the match with KO the Rumble, but the match he had with Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, those matches felt really big in a sense. You really thought, holy shit, this might be the end of the reign. Like this could be it. And the crowd really was amped up for those matches. And even the Money in the Bank, where even the time wasn't on the line, the match felt big because it was it was a balloon like Civil War. It had a lot of hype to it, and it really felt like, and you really don't know which direction they're gonna go with. But with this match, it was like you never felt once that Jey Uso had the upper hand on Roman, because, and I said, kind of says my Money in the Bank review, like Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns, that was his closure in the feud. In this story, at least, that was his closure. He just pinned Roman Reigns. So you never fucking thought that Jey Uso even has plans to walk out here as a champion. And you would just love how they set it up for this kind of rule with the tribal combat. I thought the whole rules of the tribal combat was no one from the family can interfere. Only to immediately fucking break those rules halfway through the fucking match. Fucking Solo going to interfere, and this raises all those fucking questions. If Solo Sikoa could just interfere like that, Where the hell was he during the early parts of the match? Why he didn't just fucking come out with Roman in the first place then? My God. And you had basically a handicap match. Jey Uso goes 1-2 against Roman, so he fights through. He looks like he's about to win the title. Then the referee someone pulls the referee out. Someone disguised. They took out the hoodie. They took out some sort of mask or something like that. And lo and behold, it was Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso cost his brother the championship. He super kicks him. Roman Reigns spears Jey through the table and retains the championship. So they had Jimmy Uso, excuse me, turn on his brother, costing the championship. Do I have a problem with a Jey Uso Jimmy Uso feud, brother? What's the brother? Do I have a problem with that feud? I actually don't have that much problems with it. I kind of think one day they will do something like that. Like, apparently this is what they wanted to do. Jey vs. Jimmy. Potentially at WrestleMania. I have no problems with it. The problem with it was how it was fucking happening. And the timing of it. Like, this was a long ass fucking match. That Jimmy Uso turned in here didn't move me one bit. Because one, it was one of the most obvious, most predictable shows that they could have done in a long ass while. Most fucking people on here fucking predicted this shit. They fucking saw that coming a mile away. Like, once Jimmy Uso was out, the moment that was happening, you fucking knew what was about to happen. Because they weren't gonna have Jimmy Uso be out for that long until this match. Like, he pretty much had to be, and this was this what really fucking hurt it. It's the timing. Like, Jimmy Uso just got out of the bloodline with Roman scrap. Like, Roman treated Jimmy like shit, and then you have to fucking turn on him on that fucking Night of Champions, and then then they have Roman so fucking beating down Jimmy through a pole, sending him to the fucking hospital. Then Jey had fucking did this match for his honor, only to like the last minute, like, Jimmy, now this is the good time to turn on his brother? Like, what? Like, if he wanted to do this, fine. But why do it now? Why not let it out for a few months and then do the fucking turn? Because then you're gonna have months where you can build it to, I don't know, a WrestleMania match between both of those guys. But now, you did this and it's like, this just came off lame. Like, and if Jimmy didn't really make it one all about Roman and more about him costing Jey, then why they super kid Jey then? Just tell me that. The idea, I get it, but it came off lame. And this match was just a huge fucking disappointment. This was easily Roman's weakest title defense ever since he started off this reign almost 3 years ago. And like I said, this was the first match while watching it, while in a Roman's Reigns style match where I'm like, I'm just waiting for this shit to be over. And this was the thing I said about after he retained at WrestleMania months ago. I said how much they could drag on this style without really getting repetitive. And I'm really feel like we are getting to a point where it's really fucking repetitive, or always having fucking interference to someone bail Roman out to fucking retain the championship. It just feels fucking tedious at this point. So yeah, not a good match, a long ass match, and overall just a disappointment for the hype that this story had led between these two. Just a disappointment match. And yeah, it really leaves things on a sour note for this show, as I thought the show was decent. I thought it was fine for SummerSlam. Weakest pay-per-view of the year so far, but it was still enjoyable for the most part. The Rousey Baser brought this thing down, and the main event was not what it should have been. Just a huge ass letdown and a big disappointment through this story that it really feels like it's running out of fumes and they just want to drag it up for the sake of it. So, and people are fucking annoyed with it now. So yeah, so that's my review of SummerSlam. Like this video if you haven't. So comment what you, subscribe over here. So comment what you thought about SummerSlam and the main event in the comment section below. And as always, I'm Jason Maenius and I approve this message.